श्री सच्चिदानंद सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय। सद्गुरु श्री साईनाथन शरत बाबूजी की जय। Rose Petals, Volume 5, Chapter 1. The Principle of Flow. Devotee. It seems important to cultivate sensitivity so we can experience a deeper awareness of the subtle nature of all things. Sensitivity seems to be both a prerequisite and a product of the unfoldment process. Guruji. We are sensitive to our own needs but not to the needs of others. We can learn to be sensitive to others in collective activities, like for instance, a group project or satsang. In satsang, while I am talking and you are listening intently, your senses are becoming more acute, more sensitive. You're making your senses better able to perform, and having more sensitive senses is being sensible, isn't it? Then all aspects of the Arya Ashtanga Marga, the Buddha's noble eightfold path like right view, right speech, and so on will come to us. The senses will perform in such a way that they won't be an obstacle to what is subtle inside us. They become even sensitive to that flow, to the spiritual presence. Now, you may be insensitive to that, but as you become more sensitive in other areas of your life, you will become sensitive to that inner flow as well and start experiencing it. If you develop this sensitivity, you can see and experience the principle of flow everywhere. Is that flow not in you? Is not your blood flowing? Isn't air flowing in and out? Are my words not flowing? Where is there not a flow? Everywhere there is a flow, movement, dynamism. You can become sensitive to the principle of flow underlying all these different flows. Devotee. How can we develop that sensitivity, Guruji? Guruji. First, try not to be insensitive, indiscriminate. Try to be sensitive in all aspects of your life, in your environment, in your behavior. Then the sensitivity grows. Slowly it grows and you'll become more sensible. Devotee. Guruji, I can sit for hours watching the Ganga, never getting bored. What makes it so captivating? Guruji. The reason why people are fascinated by the flow of a river or any flow is because we are experiencing the principle of flow. When we see a flowing stream, we subconsciously identify with it. It's not the flow, it's the principle of flowing that captivates us. Just stand on a bridge and watch the river flow. There won't be any change in the form of the flow, but you'll never get bored. There is no monotony in it. Why? After some time, the mind forgets that it is water, that it is a river, that it is flowing. It simply experiences the flow. The mind connects and identifies with it, becoming one with the flow. And what you experience then is what spiritual schools call a mysterious experience. So that is the principle behind it. The principle of flow, of flowing. Everything is flowing so fast that it appears to you as if it is all one entity. Just like a roll of film, each frame passes so quickly in front of the light source that when it is projected on the screen, it appears to be continuous. Each frame is flowing, moving so fast, 24 frames per second, that it appears like the reality. What makes the pieces into a movie, into one continuous whole? What connects them? That link, that something which connects the flow, mystic schools call by various names and explain in different ways. Some call it the self, which is the continuous link of the three states, waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. And the closest experience I can think of is watching a flowing river. It shows you the principle of movement, the principle of momentum. Devotee. Is it possible to actually experience a single frame by itself? Guruji. There's no use in that. In this, it differs from psychoanalysis, where they want to see and dissect each frame. Or, if you mistake all the 24 frames as one, that also is not the reality. One has to catch hold of the principle of movement that connects the frames and makes the whole movie appear as reality. That is the goal of all spiritual schools. We experience it in parts, for instance, while watching a stream or flying in an airplane. If we travel at high speed, it can give us that experience because the mind subconsciously gets tuned to the principle of flow, of momentum. The mind becomes blank. Read the experiences of the astronauts. Because of lack of gravity, the body loses its weight, and they say that even their thoughts lose their gravity. Devotee. Would a saint experience the flow and the individual frames at the same time? Guruji. He experiences the principle of flow. Devotee. Is it the flow that connects the frames? Guruji. In one way, yes. It's not only what connects the frames, but also what moves them and makes you believe they are one entity. If it connects and doesn't move them, you'll see only a single frame. No, it's not only the connecting force, it moves and doesn't move. It's both dynamic and static. I think I explained this is the concept behind the name Arunachala. Arunachala. Aruna means red in Sanskrit. When you are aroused or angry, when you are emotional, you become red. The color red in Hinduism symbolizes activity, the dynamic state. It is a sign of heat, like blushing, some activity is going on. That's why they make red the symbol of activity. It's dynamic. And Achala is motionless, static. Achala. So, it's neither motionless nor full of motion. It's something beyond. Devotee. Guruji, you said that the nature of our consciousness is dynamic. Does that mean it's always changing? Guruji. No, not only changing. Dynamic doesn't mean only change. There's a sense of active enjoyment in it. That is also dynamic. Devotee. There's some kind of movement like the flow of a river? Guruji. Yes, we experience it as a kind of movement also. Like a river, our consciousness is continuously moving, but at the same time, we experience the continuity. The river mirrors our consciousness. We experience the sameness, and our consciousness spontaneously sympathizes with that movement, and so it becomes one with it, and there is the dynamism. Our consciousness is like a fast flowing river. Where it comes from and where it is flowing to, we do not know. It looks like the same water, the same Ganges. Unless there is some object flowing in the river, we can't see that the water is actually moving. These objects are the different experiences in our life. We identify ourselves with them, move with them, and then feel that we are moving. But it's the movement itself that we should catch hold of. Be aware of and grasp that sense of movement. Be one with it. It's not the movement of our ordinary relative experience. It's a different kind of movement. The nearest experience I can think of is when you watch a river. We go beyond our relative experience and forget ourselves. It is very rare to be aware of such movement. A saint is at one with that movement and looks at the whole world as though it was a flowing river. Devotee. Without emotion? Guruji. Without emotion. Devotee. So it's emotion that takes us out, that disturbs the connection? Guruji. Yes. Because you are only identifying yourself with the movement of a particular object, not with what moves it. Devotee. Is that why our experiences are ultimately unsatisfactory? Because we are identifying with the objects rather than with what's moving them? And a saint is identified with what's moving them rather than with the objects themselves? Is that the reason? Guruji. Yes. He feels one with the very principle of movement which is natural to consciousness. Actually, not only the river, but everything, the whole universe is moving. Everything is in motion. And a saint experiences this wherever he is. He looks at everything as though he was looking at the Ganges. That is why the scriptures say that wherever a saint is, there is a Tirtha because he is an embodiment of the principle of the Ganges, the principle of flow. The scriptures say, Sarva Tirthas, all the Tirthas reside at the feet of a great saint. Devotee. Guruji, when I watch the continuous movement of the Ganga, I experience a stillness that reflects the nature of consciousness itself. In that connection, I find some kind of peace in which my emotions are harmonized. Why isn't there the same effect when we watch television? Guruji. Because there you identify yourself with certain characters. When you watch the river, it's the movement itself you identify with which reflects yourself. TV doesn't act as a mirror. You take on different forms when you watch a movie, and many memories and associations may get triggered. Consciousness loses itself and takes different forms just like it does in your ordinary daily life. People escape into television because there's not enough variety in their daily lives and they become bored. Watching the Ganges is just like watching Baba. A Satguru always looks new, like the river, but at the same time, his form remains the same. His form is so beautiful and enchanting that the mind forgets itself and dissolves. It's not an ordinary kind of beauty. There is a dynamic principle in his form, like the flow of the Ganges. So every moment he is new, as though you were seeing him for the first time. It makes you always live in the present with no past memories, no future plans, no thoughts. He mirrors the dynamic nature of your own consciousness and you become one with it. Baba is like flowing air, moving air, a breeze. When all the windows are closed in a room and the air is still, we may say there is no air in the room. In fact, that is not true. There is air. Air is all pervading. That's why we are alive. Why do we say there's no air? Because we don't feel it flow, so we are almost breathless. But when we open the window and there's a breeze, we say, now I feel it. The flow of the air is like the movement of the self. Without movement, the self is difficult to feel. Devotee. When I sit by the Ganges, my mind calms down and my thoughts recede a little, but I'm not really able to connect this experience to the principle of flow. Guruji. We are here by the side of the Ganges, so I gave the example of the river. Many people relate to it and may find it useful, but that doesn't mean everyone should go and practice it. I haven't given it as a practice. I only mentioned it because some of you have had this experience. If you can't relate to it, then leave it and find something else. If your experience is beautiful, happy, blissful, and you want to sit longer and longer, then that is what I meant. When you forget the Ganges, when you forget the water, when you forget your own mind and even my words, nothing is left. Then that is the correct experience. If you are sitting at the river thinking, oh, that's what Guruji meant, trying to link it to something I said, then you're missing the whole point. It should be a spontaneous experience, not an effort or a practice. Some people have had that experience and asked me, why is it like that? Then I gave a little explanation about it. That's all. And there ends the story. It's not a teaching of the flowing Ganges or a Ganges Sutra. No, nothing of the sort. Devotee. Guruji, if we have the experience of everything being in motion when we are watching the river, does that experience continue or is it just in the moment? Guruji, it's just in the moment. But even though it's just in the moment, that experience can give rise to other experiences of the flow. You start experiencing that sense of movement in different aspects, in different places, even where you never expected it. Everything is flowing in the universe, not only the Ganges, and you begin to get a taste of that. It's not that the same experience continues and you have to ruminate on it. Instead, take every experience fresh in the moment and then let it go. Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj ki Jai. Sadguru Shri Sainathani Sharat Babuji ki Jai.